fellow Whovians, Whovian Queen here, and I'm in a brand new location now. Yes, I am now in my mom's house. This is going to be a permanent situation, for now anyway. I'm hoping that later on down the line, maybe in like 1 or 2 years or so, I'll be moving into an apartment in downtown Olympia, but for now, I'm here at my mom's house, so there you go. Anyway, so it's time for yet another Doctor Who review, and since Father's Day is coming up, it's time to review the episode that is called Father's Day. So, anyway, let's get started. The Doctor takes Rose to the day Rose's father, Pete, died, so that Pete is not alone when he is killed in a hit-and-run accident. Upon their arrival in London in 1987, they witness the accident, but Rose is unable to go to comfort Pete. Going back to try again, Rose suddenly runs out and pushes Pete aside, saving his life. The younger versions of the Doctor and Rose vanish. Rose and the Doctor fight about her actions, with the Doctor rebuking her for potentially damaging the timeline. Rose decides to go with Pete to his friend's wedding, but the Doctor walks back to the TARDIS, only to find that it is now an empty shell. See, this is what happens when you mess up with fixed points in the timeline, people. Strange flying beasts called Reapers appear and begin consuming people. Well, that's not good. Rose and Pete drive to the wedding together, and the car that was meant to kill Pete appears and nearly collides with their car. A Reaper attacks the wedding guests, including Jackie and an infant Rose. The Doctor runs to the church and directs everyone inside, knowing that the age of the church will protect them against the Reapers. The Doctor explains to Rose that her actions have caused a paradox the Reapers are fixing by consuming everyone within it. Okay, how come these guys have never appeared in other paradoxes that have shown throughout the series? Seriously, what the hell? Feeling that his TARDIS key is still warm, the Doctor sets it up in the middle of the church and the TARDIS slowly begins materializing around it. Pete realizes that Rose is his and Jackie's daughter, and when Rose isn't able to answer questions about how good a father he was, Pete realizes he was meant to die in the accident. Jackie thinks Rose is Pete's daughter with another woman. In a fit of frustration, Pete hands the baby Rose to adult Rose. The paradox worsens, and Reaper is able to enter the church. The Doctor declares himself the oldest Dean of the church and offers himself to the Reaper, which consumes him and disappears. The TARDIS key goes cold and drops to the ground. Pete realizes that he must die in order to restore the timeline. He runs in front of the car that was originally meant to kill him, and it continued to appear and disappear on the road just outside the church. The timeline is repaired, and the Reaper's victims, including the Doctor, reappear. The Doctor sends Rose to be with Pete, and she holds his hand until he dies. Aww, that's kind of bittersweet, I guess. So anyway, let's go at some outside references. The Lamb and Flag, a pub for the sitcom Bottom, is referenced in the episode. And it also features the 2002 song Don't Milk Yourself by the Streets, indicating the damage to the timeline. Rose believes Pete to be a bit of a dull boy, referring to the character from the 1980s comedy Only Fools and Horses. The 1987 song Never Gonna Give You Up by Rick Astley, and the 1987 Becoming Arts cover of the 1971 song Never Can Say Goodbye also feature in the episode. Now let's look at the production. According to producer Phil Collinson, showrunner Russell T Davies came up with the concept for Father's Day at an early stage in the planning of the series, as it was a, quote, perfect time travel story. Davies wanted the storyline to be easy to follow and drawn from human emotions. Additionally, the previous 7 episodes had established why Rose was a good companion, and so Father's Day shows that she does make mistakes, but in a relatable way. Davies chose Paul Cornell to write the episode. Cornell had written Doctor Who spin-off material, especially novels for the Virgin New Adventures, which bridged the gap between the classic series and the new. Davies originally intended that the episode be a small-budget, saber character piece investigating the death of Rose's father, but Cornell suggested the addition of the Reapers, and BBC head of drama Jane Tranter encouraged the additions of monsters to the new series. Working titles for the episode included Wounded Time and Wound in Time. Davies came up with the final title Father's Day in February 2005, shortly before the series began airing. Davies and Cornell debated whether it should have been Rose's plan all along to save her father. This is left ambiguous in the episode. Billie Piper felt that it did not occur to Rose until after she began traveling. In the original script, in the scene where the Doctor opens the TARDIS doors and discovers only a police box interior, the police box fell apart. This was changed for the reasons of cost, and Cornell stated that he thinks the change is an improvement. Cornell also states that the character of Pete Tyler is based on his own father, who attempted many different jobs and schemes, including, like Pete, selling health drinks, before eventually finding success running a betting shop. Pete's line, "I'm your dad, it's my job for it to be my fault," is taken from something Cornell's father once said to him. Originally, Pete was to take a swig of wine before sacrificing himself. This was removed because the correlation between alcohol and bravery was not thought to be a positive message. Yeah, good idea. The entire episode was shot in Cardiff in November 2004. The weather changed frequently during filming, and the cast began to fall ill. Eccleston had a cold. Ugh. The production team selected several streets that looked similar. Most of the streets were in the community of Grangetown. The streets did not require much work for them to resemble 1980s streets. Only a few satellite dishes were taken down. The church is St. Paul's Church, also in Grangetown. The set of the teller's flat was redressed for the time period. For the 1980s style, members of the cast and crew brought in photographs of themselves from the 80s. For example, Pete's dresses and big hair were incorporated, but these elements were not meant to be distracting. Camille Coduri, who played Jackie, wore a wig for this episode. Some of the conversation between Rose and her father in the car was cut because the car had made the dialogue delivery to bouncy. Piper was scared of holding the baby. Because the baby is present throughout the majority of the episode, but the number of hours they could work with the infant was limited, an artificial baby was used as a placeholder in some scenes. I wonder what an artificial baby looks like. The Reapers went through many designs. Originally they were supposed to be men in cowls based on the Grim Reaper. The final design retains some of this image with its scythe-like tail. The original design was deemed too similar to creatures seen at the end of the world, and so were reworked into something more otherworldly. They were not originally intended to fly. There was also discussion of how much they should resemble animals as opposed to the Grim Reaper. The end result is a mixture of the two approaches. The final design had a shark quality, bat wings, and a mouth influenced by the praying mantis. Vulture sound effects were used for its screech. The model was made over 2 months, being finished at the end of February 2005, rather than the beginning of January as scheduled. The special effects team then had 2 or 3 weeks to complete the 40-odd shots of the completely CGI Reapers in the episode. The episode ended up being more expensive than intended because of the CGI. When time was damaged, one of the effects is that mobile telephones all began to repeat the message, "Watson, come here, I need you." Reportedly Alexander Graham Bell's first words ever spoken over a telephone. However, historical records indicate the words to be, "Watson, come here, I want you." The error was not present in Paul Cornell's original script, but crept in at some point during production. Producer Phil Coulson speculated that it was because the line was re-recorded. It was originally recorded by someone who the production team felt put on too false a Scottish accent, and so was re-recorded by a real Scot. That's interesting. So overall, this episode is kind of bittersweet in a way, but it's also kind of nice, I guess. And again, I wish the Reapers would have come back when paradoxes started showing up, but hey, that's just my personal opinion. So overall, I give Father's Day 4 sonic screwdrivers out of 5. Well, tune in next week as we take a look at the beginning of a 2-part story, again, with The Empty Child, and which is also the episode which introduces us to everyone's favorite omnisexual companion and the Star of Torchwood, Captain Jack Harkness. So anyway, hope you enjoyed that review, and if you did, be sure to give it a big thumbs up. Also subscribe if you haven't already, ring the bell so you can be notified of when I upload, and also check out my Patreon page. I'll put a link to it in the description below, patreon.com/HoovyandQueen. Push some money my way, I'll be making better videos. So, until then, this is Hoovy and Queen saying, "Oh my giddy aunt! When I say run, run! I've reversed the polarity of the neutron flow. Would you like a jelly baby? Fantastic! Allons-y! Geronimo!" Bow ties are cool, fezzes are cool. And Stetsons are cool.